Rich Rodriguez and the West Virginia Mountaineer coaching staff and Mountaineer fans got some good news today because Preston Fox has returned to the West Virginia Mountaineer program, a veteran receiver coming back to Morgantown to finish out his career and play his last year of eligibility. In this episode of Couz's Corner, which is brought to you by Katz, Cantor, Stone Street, and Buckner Attorneys at Law and Appalachia Digital, we're going to talk about what that means for this program and why it's such good news. So stick around, and we'll have that conversation right after this. Since 1931, the attorneys at Katz, Cantor, Stone Street, and Buckner have been the voice for victims who have suffered serious injury or death. They have a fierce passion for truth and justice and a sincere compassion for those who have been wronged by others. Whether you have been in a car accident or fighting with an insurance company, or you or a loved one has suffered serious injury or death due to medical negligence, we will ensure your voice is heard loud and clear. Katz, Cantor, Stone Street, and Buckner will ensure there is justice for all West Virginians because we are your lawyer, your voice. Visit us at yourlawyeryourvoice.com. What is up, and welcome into this episode of Couz's Corner. Come on in and belly yourself up to the bar and let me pour you out this shot of top-shelf college football news and analysis around the West Virginia Mountaineers. If you're new here, I'm your host, Couz. On tap today, we are talking about the return of Preston Fox to West Virginia football. That's right, Preston Fox, who we thought was going to retire, had actually announced his retirement from football, said he was done with the game. Apparently called Rich Rodriguez a few days ago, asked if he could return to the football team. Rich Rodriguez, of course, said yes. As Scott Stapp at Creed would say, with arms wide open, come on back to the team. As a matter of fact, when Coach Rodriguez was asked about this in his press conference, he talked about how first he wasn't even sure if Preston had any eligibility left. He looked into that. He obviously did. But when talking about the reason he took Preston back and why he's glad to have him back, he said, and I quote, "I'd love to have him. He's a good football player. I think all of his teammates loved him, and it's good to have him." He then went on to talk about how he can help them because he can play multiple positions at wide receiver because of his intelligence. And I think he's dead on the money right there. Preston Fox brings a veteran presence to that room. You know, you have a lot of young receivers in that room. Preston brings a veteran presence. It's also going to help with chemistry because he and Rodney Gallagher already have that relationship. Even with the offense as a whole, he's already going to have pre-existing relationships with Nico Marchiol, with, I mentioned Rodney, with Jaheim White, with some of the offensive linemen, other members of this football team, even guys on the defensive side of the ball for that matter. He's already going to have relationships with him. He can be a veteran presence in that room for folks like Dom Collins, Brandon Raymond, some of the freshmen they're bringing in. So I think it's a great thing that Preston Fox is coming back. I've done multiple videos talking about the number of snaps being lost off this football team. They were losing right around 4,000 snaps alone from the wide receiver position or close to it. Well, Preston Fox is bringing back over 800 of those snaps. So almost a quarter of the snaps returning that were lost with Preston Fox coming back to the team. Apparently today, Monday, March 10th, was his second full practice, according to Coach Rodriguez. And he will be in full pads at Wednesday's practice. They're practicing every other day. It will be his first full practice in pads. Now, when you look at Preston Fox, his productivity from a year ago, he caught 12 passes for 131 yards for the team. But when you look deeper than that, when you look at what he's done throughout his career, he actually had a better season in 2023. Throughout his career, he's caught 43 balls for 548 yards and 3 touchdowns. So he's made some big catches. We've seen how good his hands are. He's reliable. He can catch about anything. If you throw it near Preston Fox, he will likely catch it. But here's where I think he might be able to help this team the most. Outside of his veteran presence, outside of the fact he can play receiver and play multiple positions at receiver, his ability to return punts and kicks. I think that is going to be extremely valuable for this football team. Preston Fox, in his career, has returned 37 punt returns and 29 kickoff returns in his career. And he's done it well. He returned 13 punts in 2024 for 105 yards. He returned 18 punts in 2023 for 145 yards. On kickoffs, he returned 11 punts a year ago for 304 yards. Or 11 kicks for 304 yards, returned 8 kicks in 2023 for 172 yards. And I've seen a couple people commenting on some group chats I'm in about how he's not a very good punt returner. I'm here to tell you, I remember the days of West Virginia football not that long ago when I would cringe every time the other team punted the football to West Virginia because I was afraid the guy was going to drop it. They went through multiple seasons where they just couldn't even find a guy to catch the ball consistently, much less return it. Well, Preston Fox gives you that solid guy back there who you know is going to catch the football. You don't have to worry about it. And there at the end of last season, he was starting to return some kicks. He came close 2 different times. I don't remember the exact games, but I know of 2 different occasions where he was basically a shoelace from breaking one and taking it to the house. Preston Fox had become a very good punt returner and kick returner in a West Virginia uniform, and I think he's going to be able to help them do that, especially if they can't find somebody else to do it. Maybe they might have some guys on the team who are faster than Preston Fox, even more athletic than Preston Fox, but you may not have anybody that's as reliable as Preston Fox. It takes more than just speed to return kicks. You got to be able to have vision to read your blocks. And most importantly, you've got to be able to catch the football. He does that. So he gives you a veteran presence in the locker room. He gives you a veteran presence in that wide receiver room, somebody who's played over 800 snaps in his career, somebody who's produced at the Power 4 level, somebody who was a former walk-on who earned a scholarship, so he has that story he can tell. He's a West Virginia native, which I think is important as well. He gives you another person who understands the culture and embodies the culture of what it means to be a Mountaineer and a citizen of the state of West Virginia, for that matter. And he gives you somebody who's reliable not only on offense, but on the special team side of the ball. So for all those reasons, I think this is an absolute great move for this program. I think it's a great addition for this program. Now, if the only negative is it's one more roster spot likely going to be lost, one of those walk-ons that Coach Rod has talked about multiple times, and it doesn't have to be a walk-on. It can be anybody for that matter. But one of those spots that he's going to have to cut, Preston Fox is likely going to get one of those. But you know what? That's the way the cookie crumbles. But for as far as the program goes and the success of the program, I think this is absolutely huge. Do you think it's a big move? Do you think it's a positive move for Rich Rod and the program that Preston Fox has decided to come out of retirement and rejoin the West Virginia Mountaineer football team? Let me know in the comment section. Also, don't forget to hit the thumbs up button on this video if you thought I earned it. If you like what you had to hear and thought I did a good job on the video, please subscribe to the channel here. Help me get to my next big goal of 10,000 subscribers. Don't forget about my brand new website, WVSportschat.com. Please check it out, WVSportschat.com. You can find blog posts over there from myself and some other writers. You can find access to my videos, both here and on the Hoops from the Hills channel. By the way, sub to that too, please. Follow along on all of the West Virginia Mountaineer basketball coverage. You can also reach out to me through the website. You can find links to some of my sponsors, find links to some of my affiliates, like Fanatics, for example. Do your Fanatic shopping. There's links to my merch store. So much stuff you can find over there. It's all in one place at WVSportschat.com. Go check it out. Also, want to give a shout out to my VIP channel members of this episode. They are Caleb Davis, Cody Cutright, Dane the Surveyor, Al Walker, and WV Wildman 82. Thank you all for your support. If you want to be a channel member, hit the join button below or check out the link on my channel homepage right beside my profile photo. You can become a member for either $2.99 a month or $4.99 a month, depending on what level you feel comfortable with. It's a very easy way to support what I'm doing here on the show. And there are also a few perks that go along with it, including these random shout-outs. There are other ways you can support my show. There are links in the description box. The easiest and cheapest way to do it, that thumbs up button, baby. Hit that thumbs up button. It really helps the algorithm. Leave the comments, subscribe, and share it with your family and friends who like West Virginia Mountaineer football or even Big 12 football. I talk about Big 12 football as well. There's another video for you right here in the corner of the screen that YouTube recommends you check out because you might like it. There's also a basketball channel or a basketball video right here. Please check it out. I appreciate you tuning into this episode. Hope the rest of your day's top shelf. I hope you stay blessed and Q Country Roads.